Hello, dear friends. Today we will visit an architectural and cultural monument of the 15th century, a mausoleum called Diri Baba. The sign reminds us that there are snakes and scorpions here and we must be careful. This monument is located in Azerbaijan in the city of Gobustan. There are desert mountains all around here. Overall, it looks like this. The peculiarity of the structure is that the architect seemed to build the tomb into the rock. It seems to be suspended in the air, turned away from the ground, as if floating in the air. According to the inscription on the tomb of Diri Baba, this monument was built in 805 Hijri year, that is in 1402 year of our era, by order of Shirvanshah Sheikh Ibrahim I, the ruler of the Shirvanshah state. The full name of the architect on the tomb of Diri Baba has not been preserved. On the inner walls of the tomb there remains only a piece of stone with part of the inscription Ibn Ustad Haji, which means son of Ustad Haji, and the date of construction of the tomb, 1402. Ustad means a person who has great knowledge and experience in some field in art. The building consists of two floors. A very steep staircase leads to the second floor. I will have to try harder to get up there. The first floor consists of a hallway and another small room. Most likely parishioners pray here. Now we'll go up to the second floor. The height of the steps is very high. The second floor consists of one room and a tomb dug into the rock. Some parts of the tomb are decorated with stylized plant ornaments. Another staircase from the room goes up, but the entrance there is closed. This is the exit to the roof of the mausoleum, and from there you can also go to the mountains. According to legend, a saint named Diri Baba, which means a living, immortal elder, was buried here and remained incorrupt for a long time. This monument, which contains the tomb of one of the unknown Sufi sheikhs, is considered a shrine by the local population. There are different versions of the origin of the monument's name. According to one story, the sheikh spent the last days of his life secluded in his cell and performing religious services. Reading the divine words from the holy book in his cell, he joined the vault of truth, but his disciples learned of his death a few days later. That is, despite the fact that Sheikh Baba died, he remained alive for several days. For this reason, after a tomb was built over his grave, it was named Diri Baba's tomb. There are also several caves here which we will visit in order. Since the grave is located on a caravan trade route, it attracted the attention of a number of scientists and travelers who came to the Caucasus. The German traveler and scholar Adam Aliarius, who visited Shamaha for 3 months in the 1630s, was here on December 27, 1636, and gave brief information about the tomb of Diri Baba. Adam Aliarius was secretary of the embassy sent by Duke Frederick III of Holstein-Gottorp to the Shah of Persia. He noted, around the burial place of Diri Baba, in the same mountain, many caves and chambers are carved out, in which pilgrims stop and make sacrifices. Some of them were so high above the ground that it was impossible to climb into them without a ladder. 3 of our retinue helped each other to climb the steep wall. It contained 4 spacious chambers, places for beds and a manger, all carved into the rock. We noticed with surprise that small shells were embedded in the solid rock near the arches, and that the wall rock in other places looked as if it were cut from shells and sand. On the way back we saw wall mountains and solid rocks of this kind near the Caspian Sea. Aliarius further writes, he, Diri Baba, seems to be incorruptible, standing on his knees, dressed in a grey kaftan, and seems to be praying. This miracle was supposedly requested from God by his former scribe Sheikh Ibrahim, so that his teacher, after death as well as during life, would always appear to be devoutly praying. Every year a white one is put on top of his grey kaftan, and the old one is divided into parts and distributed to pilgrims. At certain times pilgrimages are made here from afar, often on foot. Above the doors of this burial place were the Arabic words, "O God, open this door." The famous Turkish traveler Evliya Çelebi, who visited the mausoleum in early 1647, wrote that he met Sheikh Haji Salahaddin in the mausoleum, who withdrew from the world and was engaged in religious services in the mausoleum. He told Çelebi that the deceased, whom the locals called Diri Baba, lived during the time of Shirvanshah Ibrahim I and held the position of muazzin at the court of the Shirvanshahs. Muazzin is the man who calls Muslims to prayer from the minaret of a mosque. Çelebi further notes, we were guests at the residence of this noble elder at the place of Pir Merizat, and he is known in Iran and Turan under the name Diri Baba. Indeed, at the foot of a high mountain, a huge majestic Asian was crouched in a corner, his magnificent body girdled with woolen knots. His holy face and body are turned towards the Qibla. The blessed head rests leaning against the rock of the sanctuary. His body is as incorruptible as a white cotton swab. According to another legend, a man named Sheikh Muhammad, who lived during the time of the Shah, often prayed here. He died while praying. It is said that his corpse didn't rot for 300 years. There is another legend, that a man named Atam ibn Amir came to Shirvan with his group and died there, and now his grave is in the tomb of Diri Baba. This man was one of the representatives of the Sufi sect Khalwatiya. Atam ibn Amir Khalwatiya went to a cave to pray near the place where he lived. Since he died during another seclusion, he was buried there. After that, it became a shrine. I think that's enough information, dear friends. Watch the video to the end, like it, subscribe to the channel. Until next time.